There's no such thing as a sure thing. The #1 draft pick doesn't always become the #1 guy.
Oh, and Jet goes down.
He crashed over there on this hit. First lap he crashed, and he crashed the second time too. Did it? Yeah.
You know, I didn't win on the Reddit's title, and I thought my life was over. I would do anything to go back to those last couple of years and enjoy those last couple of years with my family before it turned into a job. I mean, I wasn't supposed to win a championship ever. I was from a town of 200 people or 50 people or something like that in Kansas.
That's great. I got a whole shot.
The kid knows he's, quote, made it before he even got there. How hard is he really going to push?
There's so many things you look at. I mean, it comes from family to work ethic to drive. I mean, you can kind of see it in kids, you know, and then obviously it's a combined effort between the whole team to look at a kid, you know. It's not just, you know, just because I thought that I saw something, or, you know, it takes all of us to kind of put our heads together and see what you see. And you know, there's always that chance that doesn't pan out, you know. There's plenty to make it in this. It's gnarly, you know. You gotta be pretty gritty, and you gotta be ready to roll. I've been through this part of it, you know, and you know, I didn't win on the Reddit's title, and I thought my life was over, you know. And I would do anything to go back to those last couple of years and enjoy those last couple of years with my family before it turned into a job. Not that we didn't enjoy it, but I wish I would have, I don't know, had more clarity in my mind to realize that it's not over, you know, and enjoyed those last couple of years and actually not been so bummed out on myself or so hard on myself, because it's not like my parents were like that, you know. They weren't, if you don't win, you're not going to make it or anything like that. And they were always just like, you're going to be fine, you're going to be fine. And I should have listened a little bit better. And I think having that experience and seeing that and being around these kids, and honestly for them, all they do for me is give me more energy, because I'm just like, man, these kids they're so happy to be here. They can't wait to ride their bike. Oh, the bike looks sick, and they're just so happy. It's makes it fun.
People, you're gonna be hearing a whole lot of heavy breathing.
What? Oh, you're mic'd up?
We're all up in there.
You know, the rut kind of goes out.
Yeah.
You should almost be over here.
Line them up a little bit more. Okay, roll forward. Is that good?
And my personal opinion is a lot of the kids are catered to almost to a fault, whether it's the families doing it, and I mean, everybody wants the best for their kid, and then they get onto an elite team, whether it's, you know, 250F or even earlier on 85s, 65s, and 85s. I think some of them the families need to allow them to mature and actually earn it. You know, a lot of times you'll see a guy that just dominant. Well, he usually has maybe the better equipment or more money, you know, leading in. But then when you start getting to the pro side, it's usually that second, third place guy who might not have the same equipment or have the same backing and ends up earning it. I feel like he's more hungry and he will do anything, suffer the longest in the moto to prove that he is able and wanting of the ride. So then you see it all the time when they hit the pros. You know, it might be a year or two, but those guys will actually prevail. Chase Sexton, I think, is a prime example recently. He was the #2 guy to Faulkner, and then look at him, he's a 2-time champion, has a great ride on factory Honda. He's really making the name for himself, and we'll probably see him a champion 450. Keeping him grounded, moving him through, keeping him, you know, wanting to fight, and then mental game of never giving up will get you there.
It's funny, it's gonna sound kind of cliche, but there's a look in certain kids' eyes that you can see that. You can see that determination. It's almost like a chip on the shoulder, you know, like, not that they're owed something, but it's almost like not taking no for an answer, you know, like it's almost, I don't want to say getting beat down enough, but yeah, like they're back against the wall and nothing will stop them from achieving their goals, and it's rare, but you can see it. I would say there's 15 guys that, I don't know, maybe necessarily not that can win, but that are experienced, been there, done that, and you gotta be ready for that versus...
Here, you're one of 3 fast guys nowadays, and you know, you're between 15 and 18, and then you go into the pro ranks and you have guys that you're racing, they're 28, they have houses, mortgages, they have kids, they have wives.
Once you make it to that level, you belong. And you gotta have some self-belief along the way, but no matter how much you win here, it's really hard to realize once you're there and on that stage, not to get like, oh man, I'm here, I belong, I can do it.
I think you need a few years really to get grounded and get the base and then move forward in the pros.
I know the folks at Star Racing Yamaha, they are expecting a lot out of Levi Kitchen as well as Nick Romano, investing in these young riders. Here we go, up and over the FMF Powerwall. So working through the race order here for day 1 for the 2021 James Stewart Freestone Spring Championship presented by Parts Unlimited and Thor. And right now, it is the rider on the 147, the Yamaha of Levi Kitchen, going to lead him around. Right now, Levi Kitchen is the rider who's putting the gap on the field. Just about 6 seconds now, and if Miller and Reynolds kind of start to battle, that's going to be even better news for Levi Kitchen. So Reynolds not only has to pass Miller, he's got to do it quickly to try to get a closing run at the leader.
He's riding pretty good. Smooth rider. Got a good start this moto. A little timid coming into the first turn, but we could work on that.
How's his pace so far right now as like beginning of the week? How's it looking like for the rest of the week for him?
It's looking pretty good. He's having a lot of fun, and that's key for Levi.
I'll probably work with that. What's your name?
Connor.
Right, man. Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet
You know, the Monster Energy Star Yamaha Racing team, I mean, in all essence, whether it's this level of racing or the pro racing,
Yep.
Wil Hahn has done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he really has come into his own as a team manager there. Pretty big squad. He's got about 157 riders, I think. So And there's Levi Kitchen down to the finish line. Checkered flag and race win for the Star Racing Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Little big whip over the finish there. That is going to do it for the Open A Pro Sport Division number 1. Top 16 go to the second half.
Guys like Christian Craig, they're so flawless on a motorcycle. You have a guy like that who, you know, 24, 25, now 28-ish. And then coming over to this side, you have kids that are 14, 15, 16, you know, so the age gap mentally is completely different.
In this role, you realize quickly that everyone's personality is very different, and how to approach them, how to talk to them. But I think it's more so just learning them and helping them tick and realizing, like I said earlier, like, you want to win every time, but manage that in a way that you're not going to ruin your whole week because you got 1 second.
Emotions are quite a bit different. You know, a guy might go down or get passed by a couple guys, and it's how they emotionally react, and I think that's what changes their overall finish.
Like, all right, let's go back, let's figure out why we got second, let's figure it out, let's move forward, you know?
I think when you're working with the younger kids, it's important to keep them grounded and to keep them focused on the next goal. And even when something goes wrong, you can always find a positive. Even this week, Nick went down a couple times and was back to 5th. And you know, actually going into that moto, I told him, if anything happens, try to get to the next guy, try to get to that guy. And he ended up 2nd. So started 24th, went down midway, and then got to 2nd. So we salvaged that one pretty well. So it's just trying to coach the mental side of it.
The biggest thing I think is realizing that this isn't a DVD, you can't rewind it, you know? Like we can only move forward, don't dwell on the past, let's move forward, make the best we can forward.
I've definitely talked him off the ledge of like blowing up because of a bad moto, but I would basically coach him like, look, it was 2nd, we're okay. You know, you go get 2nd in the first moto, it's just as good as 1st, as long as you go 1st in the 2nd moto. So it's really honestly trying to just pump the brakes on them and be like, let's look for the positives and keep the morale up, and then we'll work on the negatives after the event.
That last moto though is a normal Levi.
Yeah.
I was happy with that. Yeah. Feet on the foot pegs, smooth. Not trying hard. Yeah.
Hey, you guys come on over here. Connor's mic'd up. Connor's mic'd up.
Mic'd up, bro.
Yeah, show them the song. The song. Bugs.
Yeah, we ran into the bugs that moto. If for some reason Cole, Matt, the whole team's watching this, we'll run into the bugs.
We can start singing right now.
For Matt.
Bugs crawling up my wall.
What are you up? We're at Freestone. Just got done with my 2nd moto of the day. I had 250A and Open Pro. We had divisions today, but went well. Ended up going 1-1. So sitting good for the. I guess we have like a 2-moto format, but I guess it's going to be long motos, so should be a good time. Way better than yesterday. Yesterday, my opinion, I think it sucked, but today was way better. I think it's because I had more water in it. The lines were moving better today, but you know, I know Nick's getting ready. I think the track's gonna be good for him, and hopefully it stays this way the rest of the week. The first one I had to work for sure. I got a bad start, and then that 2nd one, I got in the lead pretty early, and honestly, I just started riding more patient, and I think I was actually going faster riding like that. I just was being more smooth, you know, standing up, stuff like that. I was having a lot more fun. Number one is to go out there and have some fun, but I would like to win, and I believe I can win, so that's kind of the goal.
From your perspective and how long you've been doing this and what you've seen and gone through in all your years, like, straight up, how many kids actually are going to make it?
That I would love to see the true analysis, like a background of that, because I think maybe like 3 in every 50. There's a lot of elite kids on 65s that don't really do anything when they hit the big bikes, and then there's some kids on 85s that when they get to the big bike, they really move forward. So it's kind of a yo-yo effect maybe, but
Depends. I mean, everyone's expectation of a successful career may be different. Maybe you just want to make a Supercross main. I don't, you know, the perception of making it should be different to some people, and not everyone's going to be Ken Roxon or Cooper Webb, and that's just reality. I wasn't. I won a 250 title, but I'm not Ken Roxon or Cooper Webb, nor will I ever be, and I'm okay with that.
4 kids come out in 1 year, I'm going to say at least only one of them is going to be the guy that stays around more than, 4 years.
I think the perception of making it should be your end goal. And I mean, I wasn't supposed to win a championship ever. I was from a town of 200 people or 50 people or something like that in Kansas.
I think a lot of them are burned out by the time they get to the pro ranks. I think there's a lot of pressure from the families, from the teams, from too early of an age. So, you got to keep them happy, fun. But a lot of them, they take out 2 mortgages, they live out of motorhomes, they do whatever it takes to get here, but then they want it just as bad as the kid, maybe even sometimes more, and I think the pressure from that really, really fizzles the kid's hunger out earlier than it really should.
To be under this tent, at some point you were paying for everything on your own, whether you're getting free stuff now or whatever your case is. At some point you were sacrificing something. I mean, I seen my parents, and luckily I was fortunate to have a really great career, but my dad would drive all night, and I maybe didn't realize it at that time, but looking back, and I realize it now, and I realize it young enough to appreciate it. But we'd drive all night at home, and he would hop on a tractor and go straight to work with no sleep, and it was like, you kind of take it for granted in a sense. So to put a percentage on it, I think if you're willing to put your heart into it, and like you just said, make those sacrifices, and you have the mental toughness, and you're willing to not give up on anything, I think anything's possible. I really do.